Hello all the students, welcome back to the continuation of the previous lecture of derivation of standard stiffness matrix for frame structure. So in previous video we have reached up to the step of deriving the local stiffness matrix of an individual member for grid structure. So we have obtained one 6 by 6 matrix that we have referred with K dash. Now let us see the second part of that derivation, that is transformation matrix and deriving the global stiffness matrix for grid structure. Okay, so this transformation matrix, it is necessary because in grid the members are orthogonally placed and it is necessary to require or to transfer the stiffness matrix of an individual member from local coordinate system to global coordinate system, and that is performed using this transformation matrix. Okay, the same concept we have studied in beam as well as in frame in truss also. Okay, so now let us see in grid. So here first the individual member that we have considered, it is this direction. Okay, member node 1 node 2 for which we have referred this coordinate system, that is local coordinate system, in the direction of member x axis perpendicular to y axis and towards the observer this z axis. Okay, this is for individual member. Now if the member is inclined, okay, so let us move this member in clockwise direction at an angle theta. Okay, so for that I'll draw the next figure. This is node number 1. Suppose that member it is inclined at an angle theta in clockwise direction. In this clockwise direction, this is node number 2. Here is the node number 2. Okay, so for this member, now in this we need to consider two coordinate system. One is local, second one is global. So let us show those two coordinate system first. So local we will show first. Local, that means along the member. Okay, along the member, so along this direction. Okay, this is for both nodes, we will show it separately. Okay, this is x dash along the member x dash. Okay, this x axis, it is rotated at an angle theta, so this x axis, local axis, it is along this member x dash. We will refer dash with dash for local. Okay, this is x dash. Now this y axis, okay, this y axis, now here it is in this direction, now it is rotated, so it will be towards the observer. Okay, this it will be towards the observer. Okay, or it is a vertical, so we will show it with just a point. Okay, that is this y is equal to y dash, because in both the cases, if you say a local or global coordinate system, both the cases this y axis, global and local, they will be at same point. So same case here for number 2 also, the y is equal to y dash. Okay, and now the question is about this z axis. Okay, so this z axis, we know that this system, it is a mutually perpendicular to each other. The angle between each axis, it is 90 degree. So here this x axis, it is rotated. Okay, that is this system, it is rotated this direction, so this z axis will be in this direction at 90 degree angle. So this is x dash, this is y dash axis here, and this one is z dash axis. Similarly at this node also z dash. Okay, local, it is covered x dash along the member, along the member perpendicular to that which is rotated in clockwise direction. In clockwise direction, z dash axis and y dash axis, it is here, that is vertical axis. Okay, this is the vertical axis, that's why we have shown it just with a point and given the name there. Now global. Okay, global, that means in a true horizontal vertical direction. So this is your global x axis, global y axis vertical, and global z axis, z axis. Similarly at node 2, x, y, and this is z, x, y, z. Okay, now degrees of freedom that we have to show here. So let us consider that d1, d2, D3, so on. Okay, these three are at node 1. D4, D5, D6, this is at node 1, this is at node 2. These are global degrees of freedom, and in local we will refer with dash D1 dash, D2 dash, D3 dash, D4 dash, D5 dash, D6 dash. First 3 at node 1, next 3 at node 2. Okay, local, global. Local we are defining with dash. Now to represent all these degrees of freedom here for node 1 and node 2 respectively. Okay, so first we will show with this local. Okay, local D1 dash, D2 dash, D3 dash. So recall these degrees of freedom. D1 is deflection, translation in y direction. D2, that is rotation in x direction, and D3 rotation in z direction. Similarly, these are at node 1. Similarly, this D4 dash, that is displacement in y direction at node 2. D5 dash, rotation in x direction at node 2, and D6 dash, that is rotation in z direction at node 2. Okay, the same meaning it applies here but in global direction. Okay, so first we will show this local. So D1 dash, D1 dash in y direction. Okay, we cannot show because that axis it is vertical, it is just shown with a point. So at this, at itself here we will write just a name D1 dash, that is it means it is shown there. Okay, D1 dash. Now D2 dash, rotation in x direction. So in x direction, rotation in x direction. So it is referred with this double headed arrow. D2 dash, and D3 dash, rotation in z direction. So in z direction, local, we are mentioning in local. So here with double headed arrow, this D3 dash. Okay, node 1 local covered. Now node 1 global. In x direction, sorry, first D1. D1, the same, it is at y axis in vertical direction. So D1 dash is equal to D1 itself. Both these degrees of freedom, local D1 dash, global D1, they are along the same axis because both axes are same, y dash and y. Local, global, both axes are same. Therefore, this D1 dash is equal to D1. Now D2, D3. D2, rotation in x direction. D3, rotation in z direction, in global z direction. Okay, so these are shown here. Similarly, this D4, D5, D6, D4 dash, D5 dash, D6 dash. Okay, so here D4, first D4. So D4, that is along this y axis, vertical y axis, and D4 dash, displacement in y direction, local y direction. So here at this point, vertical axis. So here at this point, D4 is equal to D4 dash, that is shown along this vertical axis. Local and global both axes are same, so here that is shown. Okay, now next question is D5 dash. D5 dash is rotation in x, rotation in local x direction. D5 dash, rotation in this x dash axis. D5 dash, and D6 dash, rotation in z dash axis. D6 dash. Similarly, D5, D6, D5 in x direction, D6 in local, sorry, global z direction. Okay, so all degrees of freedom in local and global are shown here. Fine. So now this theta, that is same angle theta that exists here. Okay, this is theta 90 degree, this will be 90 minus theta, and this will be again theta. So that we will mention here again, theta theta. Okay, now the next thing, that is to convert, to write local degrees of freedom into global degrees of freedom. That is what this transformation matrix is for. That L matrix we have to derive here. Okay, and if you remember in truss, sorry, in a frame, we have done the same thing. Okay, and that is very simple. Whatever local degrees of freedom are there, that you have to write in global degrees of freedom by forming a one triangle and writing in terms of trigonometry. Okay, so that we will do here. So at node 1 and at node 2. So here first we will write at node 1. Okay, so just you have to zoom out those figures and draw a proper diagram here in terms of triangle. Okay, so at node 1, local degrees of freedom are d1 dash, d2 dash and d3 dash. These 3 degrees of freedom are there, and that we have to write in global. So very first d1 dash, okay, whose equation it is already here. d1 dash is equal to d1 in terms of d1. Now d2 dash and d3 dash, for that we have to form a triangle and we have to see the trigonometry and write it in terms of vector addition of triangle. Hypotenuse is equal to addition of remaining two sides, vertical side, horizontal side. So here we have to form a triangle in such a way that this d2 dash becomes hypotenuse. This d2 dash becomes hypotenuse. That will be figure 1 at node 1, and next figure in such a way that this third degree of freedom d3 dash is equal to hypotenuse. This should be hypotenuse. So let us see the figure here. Node 1, see d2 dash, it is here. This is the d2 dash. This should be hypotenuse. Okay, one side is this d2. Now hypotenuse, this horizontal sign, and this third line, this should be vertical. So this one, this vector d3 vector, we can shift here so that it can make a triangle. So d2, d3 and this d2 dash. Okay, so that way we will form a triangle here. d2, d3 and this hypotenuse d2 dash. Okay, so this way, and the angle theta is here. So how we can write the equation here? Hypotenuse d2 dash equal to this opposite to the theta, sin theta, adjacent to the theta, cos theta. So it will be in terms of d2 cos theta plus d3 sin theta. Why it is plus taken here? Though it is downward, but it is taken plus because this d3, it is along the z axis, and this z axis, the directions which are shown, arrows which are shown, they are positive axis, positive z axis. Therefore here it is shown plus sign. Now third one, d3 dash. So again at this figure, in this figure, this is your d3 dash. Okay, make this as a hypotenuse. So d3 dash, this is the line d3, and here there should be one line so that it should form this right angle triangle. Okay, hypotenuse, this line and this line. Okay, so this way we have to draw the figure. So here we can draw in such a way that this is d3 dash, this is d3, d3 dash, d3 and horizontal line. Okay, this horizontal line, this should be hypotenuse, this should be hypotenuse, horizontal line. So horizontal vector, see the horizontal vector is this d2 dash. So just here you have to make this in this direction, so that because the sides should be in a one sequence, this should be downward and the next side it should be in a continuation with that arrow. Okay, so here this d2 we have to make in a opposite direction, so that with minus sign, that should be with minus sign. So here I'll write that minus d2, and here is the angle theta. Okay, d3 dash, d3 and this minus d2, just instead of this d2 in right direction, we have made it in a right direction. So here minus d2 dash. So how the equation can be written? Hypotenuse d3 dash equal to addition of these two lines. So opposite to this sin theta, adjacent to this cos theta. So it can be written as minus d2 sin theta plus d3 cos theta. Okay, so here and again further we can write these equations in a simple form by taking cos theta equal to L and sin theta equal to M. So this equation remains as it is, d1 dash is equal to d1, then d2 dash is equal to d2L plus d3M, and last d3 dash is equal to minus d2M plus d3L. This is at node number 1. Now at node number 2. At node number 2, the same way here at second node we can form the triangle. We can draw this way and we can write the equation for next 3 degrees of freedom. So for node 2, the next 3 degrees of freedom in local direction are d4 dash, d5 dash and d6 dash. So for that we can write the equation as d4 dash is equal to d4, that is here. Then d5 dash we can write as d5L plus d6M, and d6 dash as minus d5M plus d6L. Okay, because the geometry will be same, since only the degrees of freedom 1 2 3 are replaced by 4 5 6. Okay, so here also you can replace number 2 by 5 and number 3 by 6, and you can rewrite the same equations again. So here this is equation number 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So simply you have to write these equations in a matrix form, these 6 equations in a matrix form. So in matrix form it can be written as, so all these, okay, the one which is on side of equal to, so this from d1 dash to d6 dash we will write in a single column, d1 dash, d2 dash, d3 dash, d4 dash, d5 dash and d6 dash equal to. Now there will be a coefficient matrix of order 6 by 6 because 6 equations are there, so 6 coefficients should be there, into from this d1 up to d6 variables, d1 d2 d3 d4 d5 and d6, these variables will be there. Okay, so this way you have to write that. Okay, now in this matrix 6 rows and 6 columns will be there. So very first take let us start with the equation of d1 dash. So see, d1 dash is equal to d1. Okay, that means coefficient of d1 is 1. The remaining coefficients of d2 d3 d4 d5 d6 are 0 here, that's why they are not written here. d1 plus 0 d2 plus 0 d3 plus 0 d5 up to 0 d6. Okay, so those values are there but with 0 coefficient. So here next line write down those values 0 0 0 0 0. Then next d2 dash equation, we have to only write the coefficients here from d1 to d6. So in d2 dash equation, see, there are coefficient only for d2 and d3. Okay, L and M. So d1 coefficient is 0, d2 L, d3 M and remaining are also 0. Similarly, third equation d3 dash is equal to, again d2 and d3 coefficients are there only, remaining all coefficients are 0. So d1 0, d2 minus M, this minus M plus d3 L, and again remaining coefficient for d4 d5 d6 are 0 because they are not present in this equation. Now next this d4 dash equation, so d4 dash is equal to, only d4 value is there. So in fourth, the first column is for d4, d1, d2, d3, d4. So first three coefficients are 0 here. Okay, so if you see all these equations d4 dash, d5 dash, d6 dash, in all these three equations there is no terms of d1 d2 d3. Therefore in first these three elements in these equations their coefficients are 0 0 0. So directly write down here. Now d4 dash is equal to, this d4 coefficient is 1, d5 d6 are not present, 0. d5 dash is equal to, only the coefficient of d5 d6 are there, so d4 0, d5 l, d6 m. Last d6 dash is equal to d4 0, d5 minus m, d6 plus l. Okay, so here again in a simplest form we can write this as x dash is equal to, that is, this is called as displacement vector in local direction into this matrix of 6 by 6 is called as transformation matrix into this matrix of displacement in global direction. Displacement in global direction. Okay, so here we have obtained this transformation matrix where L is equal to cos theta and M is equal to sin theta. Okay, now the last part of this derivation, that is stiffness matrix of grid element. Stiffness matrix of grid element. Okay, so that can be obtained as K equal to L transpose into K dash into L. Okay, so here L transpose of that L matrix. So L matrix, that is this one. Okay, taking the transpose of this matrix, it means the row is written as column, second row is written as second column, third row is written as third column. So this way we have to write this transpose matrix, but this matrix we will define taking theta equal to 90 degree. So when we take theta equal to 90 degree, that time L which we have defined with cos theta, that is cos 90 equal to 0, and M that we have defined with sin theta, that is sin 90 is equal to 1. Okay, so according to that we will write this matrix here. So transpose of this matrix, the first row 1 0 0 0 0 0 written as column, second row 0 L M 0 0 0, so that we will write as column, 0 L is 0, M is 1, and next three elements again 0. Third row 0 minus M L 0 0 0, so write that as a column, 0 minus M, M is 1, L is 0, next three elements are 0, and same way the remaining next that you have to write. Okay, so I'll write here 1 0 0 0 0 minus 1 0 1 0. K dash matrix that we have defined in earlier previous video, write down that K dash here, 6 by 6 matrix into again the L matrix, that is this matrix. Okay, that you have to write here. So product of these three matrices that will give you the final resulting stiffness matrix as K equal to a matrix of order 6 by 6, which will contain the elements as 12 EI upon L cube minus 6 EI upon L square 0 minus 6 EI upon L square 4 EI upon L 0 0 0 and Gj upon L. This is just a group of 3 elements, 3 by 3 elements. Okay, next minus 12 EI upon L cube minus 6 EI upon L square 0 6 EI upon L square 2 EI upon L 0 0 0 minus Gj upon L. Okay, same elements that exist here with the sign minus 12 EI upon L cube minus 6 EI upon L square 0 6 EI upon L square 0 2 ei upon L 0 0 and minus Gj upon L, and last is 12 ei upon L cube, 6 ei upon L square 0, 6 ei upon L square, 4 ei upon L 0 0 0, and last is Gj upon L. Okay, so this is your last standard stiffness matrix for grid element. Okay, grid element, but that too when theta equal to 90 degree. This matrix, it can be applied to only the element which is perpendicular to the reference element. Okay, and reference element, it is the first element that we have considered in first video, that is part 1 video of this analysis. Okay, thank you.